Hello everybody, it's the 3rd of May today, and I've decided today I'm going to repot my Cedar of Lebanon, which I bought for not very much, about 3 or 4 years ago, and has been growing on quite nicely in this air pot for the last year or so, and I've decided that this is the tree that I'm going to put into this rather nice pot that I had for Christmas. At first glance it looks a bit small, but actually up against the air pot there's not a whole lot of difference. So first thing I want to do is get this tree out of this pot. It's wired in, and see if I can find, well, I know it's not got a great nabari, but see if I can find the nabari that it has got underneath the moss that has grown around it. The tree is very healthy, new shoots just bursting into life, so now's a good time to tackle it, and I think it's going to look really rather nice. Okay, so the tree is wired in, wired into this pot, and the issue I've had, and I'm going to continue to have, I suspect, even though the bonsai pot is going to be pretty much heavier. It's going to be much heavier. Oh, Sid, get your words into an order. The bonsai pot is going to be heavier than this plastic pond planter pot that's it's been in. Let's just cut that and be done. I seem to have tied that into a knot, so although I don't like cutting wire and causing a bit of wastage, if I can help it, I will in this case. What was I saying? Oh yes, this tree has proven to be top heavy, so I think it'll continue to be so. So I think I'm going to try and find a way to wire the pot to the bench, as well as tree into pot. So I'll clean off all this moss and gunk, and then we'll have a look. So as I remembered, yeah, a strange knot of roots and things for a nibari, which strangely enough I don't find unattractive. And so, unlike the old saying of find a nabari and the best looking piece of root and build your tree from that, I'm actually building my tree from the head of the tree, but I am fortunate in that that's not the worst view of a tree, nabari I've got or I've ever seen, and I kind of like it. So I'm going to go with it. So this is my front, and that gives me that view of the nabari that I just showed you, and I'm happy with this kind of gentle go to the right and then back to the left, and so let's get the rest of this soil off this root, or at least enough that I can get it into its new home. I'm basically thinking if I can just take the corners off and make this square round, it's almost going to fit in the pot without having to take off too much root. And as always with evergreen trees, they always say don't bare root them, because there are symbiotic fungi, mycorrhizal fungi, living within this root ball that the tree needs to thrive and survive. So I'm basically just going to round out the square and take some off the bottom. try that a bit for size. That's fit in there width-wise perfectly. We just need to, come on you guys, take some off the bottom. I'll just do that. You can just watch. A couple of thick roots there that I can take off. And then take away some of this mass off the bottom. And then a little bit from around the outside. And the tree is going to fit in there really rather nicely. Okay. Okay, so the tree fits into the pot really rather nicely with some good room and space around the sides to feed in some new substrate, soil, compost, call it what you will. But before I do that, I prepared a couple of pieces of wire, and I'm going to feed one piece up from the bottom to tie in the tree, and I think one piece would be enough because it's actually sitting in there really rather nicely, really rather flat. I'm choosing this as the front of my pot because you can then visualize two of the feet. And so I'm now going to put a second piece of wire down through the pot, because as I said, this tree has proven to be a little bit top heavy and a little bit the sail catching the wind and getting blown over, and now I'll be able to pass that over the slats of the bonsai bench and wire tree down to pot and pot down to bench. So mesh over the drainage hole and some raw, as it were, potting grit over the top of that. I find that increases the drainage considerably. And then just a little bit of substrate underneath. I don't want to lift the tree up too proud. Some controlled release fertilizer. I've said in other videos this only lasts for 3 months, but that'll take us through to the summer, and then I will switch over to a liquid high potash feed to build up the roots and the strength of the trees for next winter. Okay, making sure I've got the front of my tree at the front of my pot. I'm still not entirely convinced I need this wire to hold this tree in. And I am going to have to keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't cut into this tree. But I think it's better safe than sorry. And this pot, one drawback is that it only has 3 feet. So therefore, if the tree tends to catch the wind and go, the pot is going to want to go with it as well. nip that off, and I can hide that away. Okay, so now we can fill in. Okay, so as always, added a bit more controlled release fertilizer pellets into the top layer, and I've also put a layer of new substrate over the top of the compost, just to make it look all as one, as it were. The tree is slightly to the left of the pot. I'm looking at it from the front, so as to emphasize this slight lean to the right and then back to the left. Let's zoom out so you can see that a bit more clearly. Okay, so I've given it a drink, and we have a finished article, so to speak. Give you a quick 360 back to the front. I'm not really going to do anything much to the top. A little nibble here and there, just to keep its shape, to compensate just a little bit for some of the root I've removed, although I haven't removed a great deal. And I shall need to continue to keep an eye on these bits of wire that are still on the tree. Make sure they don't cut in, but there you have it. Let's pop the drinks can into scale, and all that remains is for me to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Do all the usual YouTube things, the liking, the subscribing, comment below, and most of all, please stay safe everybody.